Hello kids, it's Lori again. This is part 2 of the no oil basil pesto. This video will be quite a bit shorter, but I wanted to show you the finished product. So I simply put all of those ingredients that I mentioned in the first video into my food processor and began pulsing. And I stopped every once in a while. I bought this it's like a smoothie spatula that works great in my Vitamix, but it worked great today to get down in the sides. And this, being an older food processor, it's not as powerful, I imagine, as a newer one. And so I got to help it along a little, but it got the pesto very smooth, as you can see, just nice and creamy, which is what it should be. You can still see bits of the basil in there, which I think is charming aspect of it all. I wouldn't want it completely pulverized. The nutritional yeast that I mentioned is considered an optional part of the recipe. However, basil pesto typically has a cheesy flavor to it, and I believe there's Parmesan cheese in it, so I wouldn't omit it. It really makes it taste good. So what I'm doing now is just I got some of the small little storage containers, and I'm going to fill those, maybe almost to the top, but not quite. Put the lids on, and those will go in the freezer. You could also freeze in glass containers, which would be the most sustainable thing to do. The other thing would be, I don't think you'd want to put them in plastic bags. Although I suppose after you've thawed it out, it would be okay. But at least these guys are reusable. I will reuse those many, many, many times. But it's not the most sustainable thing to do. So that is really it. It's so easy. Like I say, the trickiest part, or the most time-consuming part, is picking the basil and then cleaning it up, pulsing it, and then there you go, it's done. And I did want to talk about some possible uses for the basil pesto, okay? Definitely can be used on bread, like bruschetta bread. You could spread that on toasted or garlic bread. Add some tomatoes, any other herbs that you might want to add in there, and have that as a nice appetizer. That would be very tasty. You could definitely use pesto on some pasta. You could use it in place of red sauce or in addition to. It's a strong flavor, so it's more of a kind of a condiment flavor than it is anything. It also makes a great addition to pizza. It could take the place of the pizza sauce, or it could be in addition to. It could be just an added flavor. One of the ideas I got, and there was a great website called thekitchen.com. She had a ton of wonderful ideas, so I want to give her full credit for that. She mentioned baking it into bread, which I thought sounded wonderful. So you could actually incorporate it into the dough, bake it into bread. You could mix it into dips, whether it's a vegan or non-vegan dip. You could add some pesto for some added punch and flavor. You could put it on eggs in the morning for breakfast. Add it into dressings for an added flavor. Put it on some vegetables, in particular like a baked potato. I think that would be stellar on a baked potato. I'm getting hungry. You could use it as a sandwich spread, like a veggie sandwich that you're building, and you could put this down and then add in your crunchy veggies. You could actually put it on some grilled meat or fish, or use it as a soup garnish. So it's got lots of potential, and I love the fact that it went right from the garden into the kitchen and then into the freezer. So I'm going to finish putting this up, and I have included the recipe in the description of the first video, and I may type it in for the second one as well. So you all have a wonderful, nourishing, vibrant summer day, and I'm going to finish my work in the kitchen, because guess what? I've got dishes to do. So, see you next time. Goodbye.